I'm your host, Sherry Beall, and we're here with Byron Katie and the work. Byron Katie will teach us how to have more freedom and clarity in our life. We have Millie Bunch with us, and we're going through the process of the work.
So, sweetheart, let's look at the next one.
This is the last one. What is it that you don't ever want to experience? I don't want to accept rejection or non-caring from anyone, even my mother.
Yes, and you could be rejected again in your life. It could happen. So read it again with I'm willing to.
I'm willing to accept?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm willing to accept rejection and non-caring, even from my mother.
Yes. It could happen again, even if only in your thinking. And then if it's painful or sad, good.
All right.
Write the work. Until you can see your mother as your sweetest friend, your work's not done. And it doesn't mean you have to have dinner with her. So let's read it again.
The very last one?
Yeah, the last one I look forward to.
Right. Oh, you're tough. I truly look forward to, with my whole heart, to accept rejection and non-caring from anyone on this planet, in the entire universe, even my mother.
Doesn't that feel a little more natural?
Yes.
You go through life saying, I'll never accept rejection. Well, you know, I can't know that, so I may as well open my arms to it. You see, and if it hurts, good, I know what to work on next. And if it doesn't hurt, that one's done.
If it hurts, there's work to be done.
Yeah, there is work to be done. Until my mother and I are friends, I need to investigate my thinking. Yeah, because my mother can't cause my pain. The story of my mother, that's my pain.
All right.
Some of us, I worked with a woman today, her father hit her, beat her for 13 years, and she left. And in doing this work, she saw where she's been doing it for 40 years in the name of her father, and she hasn't lived with him in 40 years. But every day, all day long.
Katie, it seems some people suffering such as this would go to a therapist and dig it out and talk about it, but it seems the work just sort of nips it in the bud.
Yeah, that's what psychologists and therapists are finding. They're coming to this work just in swarms. They're just it cuts through everything. And so many of us have become therapists because we're trying to heal our own thing. And so, you know, therapists want to give freedom like they want to get it. So this work is very sweet for that. I've heard it, so many people have said this is like, 10 minutes of this is like 10 years of therapy.
How long did it take for you before it became second nature, almost automatic, to right away ask yourself the question to turn everything around?
Well, that's an interesting thing. You do this work for a while, and it wakes up inside of you. It becomes a part of you. And you'll think, I want my son to call. And then you might hear, is it true? You see, and I need to call my son. And then that's one you just move to. You pick up the phone and you do it. I call it doing the dishes. Yeah. So I don't ever have to know what to do. When all the concepts are gone, it just comes to me. Give my husband a kiss. I just do it. But there's no story about what he did 10 minutes ago to keep me from kissing him. Yeah, it's
so there's
very
more
sweet.
clarity, and you're able to listen more to yourself?
Oh, absolutely. We're here in our mind. I have an expression that says sanity doesn't suffer ever. Isn't that fine?
Sanity doesn't suffer ever.
So if I am not experiencing kindness and joy, that's my nature. If I'm not experiencing that, good. It's time to be healed. We've been holding these concepts forever. And they're so loving, they would appear again in your care to investigate. They're not an enemy.
In reading an interview that someone had with you, something really captured my eye. It said something about being out of your mind.
Yeah.
being out of your mind, that expression, I started thinking, where did that expression come from?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's out of his mind.
Yeah. In my mother's business, I'm out of my mind. Yeah. No wonder I feel lonely. Yeah. And how do you treat your son when in the moment you're attached to the story, he needs a grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
How do you treat him?
I try to be more loving towards him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
try
to
be-
compensate.
Exactly.
Yeah. How does that feel when you're overcompensating?
I sometimes feel I can't do enough,
Yeah.
that I wish I had her help.
Yeah.
Almost like a bottomless pit, I would
Yes.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you see a reason to drop the story? He needs a grandmother?
Mhm.
Can you see one good reason to keep the story that is not sad or depressing?
Mhm.
Who would you be without the story?
I'd
Yeah.
be much more whole.
Yeah, not overcompensating possibly.
That's a very interesting concept that I thought about, because I know there are many times I'm really distracted by something on my mind that when I'm talking, the person I'm talking to, I'm not really focused on them or what the conversation is, and it doesn't feel very good.
No, and we're sitting there smiling and we act like we know what they're saying and my goodness, we're in another country mentally and there's no one here.
What does that do to our lives when we're not focused or being in the moment?
Well, if it doesn't allow me to be here with you, I miss it. I miss the real trip. You know, I'm in Europe and my body's here with you and I'm going like that and I miss you. And Europe's not real. You're real.
So what happens with our life if we're never in the moment?
We miss it. We miss the trip. There's a song, it's called Calling All Angels, and there's a phrase in there that says, then I'd miss the joy of the light upon this earth and the sweetness of leaving. And we're all trying to skip that and just get comfortable. But I say, let's open up to everything, the sweetness of leaving.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with our special guest and learn how to stop suffering with the work of Byron Katie. I'm your host, Sherry Beall, and we're here today with our special guest and learning the work of Byron Katie and how to be more clear in our life and stop our suffering.
As Millie was saying, the only problem with the work is it's just too simple. Not exactly your words, but close enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was right under my nose for 43 years, and I found it.
It's really very freeing.
Yeah. It had to be very simple. I never would have found it. Yeah.
That makes us feel good.
Thank you, Byron Katie,
Thank
for being
you.
with us today and sharing the work.
Oh, welcome.
And thank you, Millie Bunch, for making yourself so available.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Millie. Thank you.
You can visit the work by Byron Katie at www.thework.org. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Hope you learned how to stop your suffering and live a clear and more fulfilling life.